Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. For everyone who doesn't know me yet, my name is Emily and I've been traveling Australia for the past 1.5 years, and I shared my whole journey of getting jobs, finding friends, traveling throughout Australia on my YouTube channel. In this video I'm going to talk about the visas, so what you need if you want to come to Australia, so the working holiday visas. And there are 3 different working holiday visas. It can be a lot, so yeah, without further talking, let's get right into that. There are a lot of different visas if you want to come to Australia, but if you want to stay longer than 3 months and if you want to travel and work, the working holiday visa is perfect. I didn't have any problems with it, so I can highly recommend it. And yeah, so basically there are 2 different working holiday visas. There's the 417 working holiday visa and the 462. So the visas are both working holiday visas and they don't have a big difference. It just depends from which home country you're from for what visa you have to apply to. So if you're from any of these countries right here, you have to apply for subclass 417. And if you're from any of the countries on this side, you have to apply for the subclass 462. And yeah, as I said, there's not a big difference. There's some small differences I'm going to talk about later, but those are the 2 first working holiday visas you can apply for. So the first working holiday visa allows you to travel and work in Australia for up to 12 months. You're allowed to leave and re-enter Australia as many times as you want. You're allowed to study for 4 months, and you're even allowed to work with one employer for up to 6 months. So those are the main rules when it comes to the first working holiday visa. Now, who can apply for a working holiday visa? So there are quite a lot of regulations you have to fulfill in order to be able to get the working holiday visa. Number 1 is you have to be between 18 and 31 years old to be able to get the working holiday visa by the time you apply. So even if you turn 31 in a week, you can still apply for it and then you have time to enter. So by the time you apply, you can't be older than 31 years old. The second one is that you're not allowed to have any children, or you're not allowed to be pregnant. The third one is you need to have a valid passport. And then the fourth one is you're not allowed to have any criminal convictions. By the time you apply for the working holiday visa, you have to be outside of the country, so you're not allowed to apply from within Australia. And you can only apply for the working holiday visa once in your lifetime. So if you ever applied before, you're not allowed to apply again. So you're only allowed to apply once. You also have to meet specific health conditions, and you have to show sufficient funds, which is 5,000 Australian dollars. So the government basically decided that you need $5,000 in order to survive in the first couple months, even if you can't find a job. And yeah, you also need to show your flight tickets home, so you need to provide flight tickets home. Or if you don't have a flight booked yet and you don't want to book a flight, you can just show that you have sufficient funds to book a flight home, which would be around $1,000, I'd say. So with that working holiday visa, you can literally travel as much as you want within them 12 months, and you can work as much as you want. So some people decide they just want to work for 12 months, some people just want to travel for 12 months. So there are no regulations on that. And yeah, just make sure you apply from your home country at least 3 months before, I'd say, because it can take up to a couple months or weeks for them to approve your visa. I actually got mine approved within a couple seconds, and I thought I got an automated mail, but it turned out it was already the approved visa, so that can happen as well. But usually it takes around 48 hours to a week, I'd say. So just make sure you apply at least 3 months before you actually want to enter Australia. And also another really important thing to note is that by the time you apply, you basically have 12 months to use that visa. So you could apply 11 months or 12 months before you actually want to enter Australia, and then you could still use your visa. So I could apply today and still go next year, April 2021, and come to Australia. So you have 12 months to actually use that visa, but if the 12 months are over, you can't use it again and you can't apply for it again, which sucks. So the visa costs 485 Australian dollars. You have to pay that while you apply on the website, basically, to enter Australia. And yeah, you have to pay it even if your visa doesn't get approved. You still have to pay it and you won't get your money back, which is very annoying. But yeah, you basically have to pay that. And then obviously it depends on the time. Obviously, with everything going on at the moment, the exchange rate from Australian dollars to euros is pretty good. So right now it will probably be cheap to apply for one. But when I applied for my Australian working holiday visa, I paid around 300 euros. I will put everything in the description below, so I will put the link where you actually have to apply and everything else you need to know in the description below. But yeah, just click on the link, which is like the normal like government website of Australia, and then you have to create an emely account, which is basically like your official like government account, I'd say, and then you will get a mail which have to verify your account. So you just verify your account, you go back into your emely account, and then you click on applying for the working holiday visa, and then it depends what visa you have, if you have the subclass 417 or the subclass 462, and then you just apply for that and just go through all the steps. I can also link you another YouTube video below where they show exactly what you need to click. But yeah, that's basically all. Now it's about to get a bit more difficult. So if you fell in love with Australia and you decided you want to stay a second year, that is definitely possible, and I done it myself. I'm on my second year right now and I can highly recommend it. So there is a way of getting your second year in Australia, and that way is by working on a farm, so basically doing regional work for 88 days. Depending on what visa you're on, you can count different things for your 88 days. So if you're on a subclass 417, you can basically do your regional work. Your regional work includes animal and plant cultivation, fishing and pearling, tree felling and farming, mining, construction, and last but not least, bushfire recovery work. All of the industry I just pointed out have to be in regional Australia, and I'll link you the website down below again, where the government states like what exactly, like what postcodes actually belong to the regional Australia. So you have to do your farm work in any of the listed regions. So as you can see, you have to do a lot of farm work or just a lot of physical demanding work. So it's definitely going to be hard, but I done my 88 days on a banana farm, beans farm, and pumpkin farm. If you want to see that, just click that video when you're done watching this one. If you want to see like a day of my life working on a farm, it was very interesting, but I loved it. I learned so much about myself, so I actually really enjoyed doing the farm work. I even think I would do it again, like depending what farm I would go on. But it's definitely hard, but it's not too hard. So when it comes to the how you can count your days part, that's where it gets a bit tricky, and I can highly recommend using the app 88 Days to Work. This is not sponsored or anything. I use it myself. It's so you can basically put in all your pay slips and put in from what days you actually worked, and then it will tell you how many days you actually get off the 88 days. Because you don't actually have to work 88 days on a farm, you can also work 5 days a week for 3 months on a farm. So then they basically include the weekends, even though you didn't actually work on the weekends. So just, if you want to count your days, just put it in the app, which is called 88 Days to Work, and it will exactly tell you like how many days are off your 88 days. You also don't have to work on one farm. Like as I said, I worked on the east coast on a banana farm, then I traveled all the way over to the west coast to work on a beans farm and pumpkin farm. So you don't have to do your 88 days or the 3 months with one employer. You can change, you can do it within the 12 months, you can do 2 months there, 2 months there, just whatever you feel like really. But I can highly recommend getting it done as soon as possible, because obviously the weather always depends and farms are not the most reliable. So I had to wait for my farm work in one working hostel for like 5 weeks, and then we only got 3 days of work a week. So basically get it done as soon as possible so you don't struggle. I actually thought I wouldn't be able to get my second year, and then last minute I got accepted on the pumpkin farm. I smashed it out and got it, thank God. But yeah, just get it done as soon as possible, and like if you decide, you know what, Australia is actually quite sick, get it done. And for everyone who's like, I can't really imagine going home anymore, you can even stay for the third year. Yay! So the government actually just I think last year, like June last year, they announced that you can now stay for a third year, but you have to do 6 months of fucking farm work. So which is not the best, but oh well. So all the rules are the same, so you have to do regional work again, but it has to be for 6 months, which equals 179 days instead of the 88 days to get your third year. So it always depends on what industry or role you work in, but you have to basically complete the same days or shifts as a full-time employee in that field would do. So you can work, don't know, whatever wherever you want to work for 6 months, and yeah, work 5 days a week again, and then it would count the weekends. Or if you have shift work, for example, if you're working in the mines or somewhere else, you can work 2 days on, 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off, and then you would still get your 4 weeks signed off basically. So you have to just work for 6 months. It can't be any less than 6 months. It can be 6 months or more to get your 3rd year. Public holidays and sick days can be counted, but you have to be paid. So if you're paid, so if you're not working but you get paid for it, you can count it as one of your days. And then a very sad thing is, if the weather is shit and you can't work, you can't do anything about it. You can't like count it as any of your days. So let's say you're on a farm, you have to wait there for 3 weeks because the weather is shit and you can't harvest or do anything. Unfortunately, it is like that, and you can't count any of the days you were actually waiting on that farm. So it is the same for the 1st, 2nd and 3rd year. You can all apply on the link I put in the description below, so basically on the government website. And there are a couple things you need to have in order to apply. You definitely need to provide your passport, and then the money you have to pay for the visa. So every single visa costs the $485. So the 1st year visa, 2nd year, 3rd year, you always have to pay the $485 again every time you apply for another visa, which is expensive, but it is worth it. Australia is such an amazing country, so staying here for 12 months is definitely worth the money. So I would highly recommend that. So you basically need to provide your passport, you need to pay them the money, and you need to show that you actually worked the 88 days or 179 days. So that can be through pay slips, bank statements, tax return, anything really. While you apply on the website, you just have to like attach all the pay slips, tell them what farm you worked on, the name of your employer, their email address, their telephone number, like the name of the company. So you have to provide all these information in order for them to like check if you actually worked there. I would definitely say that the 2nd and the 3rd year can take a long time to get approved. So I applied for my 2nd year and I was really lucky, thank God. I got my visa within like a couple seconds again. But some people have to wait for months and months and months. So a golden rule here is as well, if you're applying for your 2nd and 3rd year visa while you're in Australia, you will get approved quicker, because obviously you're in the country and they have to put you on another visa in order for you to stay. They can't just say like, yeah, go home and then we send you the visa through and then you come back. So if you're actually in Australia while you apply, you will definitely get your visa a bit sooner, but sometimes even that can take a very long time, so they will put you on the bridging visa. So for example, you just finished your 1st year, you've done your 88 days and you apply for the 2nd year, and then you don't get any, like you don't hear anything back. You can always check like where your status is at on the emely account, but yeah, sometimes you won't get approved for 3 months, so they will put you on a bridging visa, and then until you get the approved visa basically. But if you don't want to use your visa straight away, you don't have to. Let's say you're 19 now, you're on your 1st working holiday year visa, and yeah, you've done your 88 days. That means you can still go home and wait for 5, 6, 7 years. So until you turn 31, you can use your 2nd year whenever you want. So you can, yeah, come back in 2 years or whenever you want really and use your 2nd year. So you would then just apply from outside of Australia, which usually takes a bit longer to get approved, but that's fine as well. Just apply outside of Australia, and fingers crossed you won't have to wait too long to get your visa, and then you can just come back to Australia. So yeah, that's really all I have to say about the visas. After them 3 years, the working holiday year visas are over, and then you have to look into other options like the tourist visa, study visa, if you get sponsored, partner visa, any of these options, which is a whole nother thing. Like, visas in Australia is such like a tough topic, but yeah, I hope I could help you out a bit. Please leave me a comment down below if you already done your farm work or your regional work, and if you liked it, where you done it. Give me all the gossip, because I love hearing about that. And yeah, I done quite a lot of videos on farm work already, so I leave you the link also to a farm work day in my life down below, and I'll leave you the link on like a farm work Q&A, so how you can actually find farm work. So make sure you check them out, and I see you in the next video. Bye!